Okay, we're live. Meeting is yours, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. Welcome to the Monday, May 17th, 2021, 7 o'clock Parks and Rec meeting. We'll call to order. How about if we do the Pledge of Allegiance, please and thank you. I pledge
I pledge
allegiance
allegiance
to the
to the
flag
flag
of the
of the
United
United
States
States of America,
of America,
to the
and to the
republic
republic for which it
for
stands,
which it
one
stands,
nation,
one nation,
one
under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty and
with
justice
liberty and
for all.
justice for all.
for all.
Thank you, thank you. And if we may please have roll call.
Breakovich,
Here.
Long Break,
Here.
Giramini,
Here,
Miller,
Here.
Carrico,
Here,
Ingram,
Here.
Tarango, Clark.
Okay, well, I guess maybe we should. I know I texted Mitchell and everyone about it being virtual, so maybe he just needs a little bit of time. Should we just go on or
yeah, if they log in,
on, and
great.
if he comes in, we can
Yeah.
brief him? Okay, so may I have approval of the agenda? Everybody safe with that?
Yeah, I
Yes.
just had a question about that. Oh,
Okay.
you mean about the agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no, I make a motion to approve that.
Okay.
second.
All in favor? I guess we don't have to do
Oh.
roll call for these kinds of things.
Nope.
Just everybody okay?
We still have
Yay.
to do a roll call for, on if it's virtual, you got to do a roll call for every vote.
Oh, okay. So may we have a roll call, please, and thank you.
Breakovich,
Yes,
Carrico,
yes,
Long Break,
Yes.
Giramini,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Ingram.
Yes.
Okay, then can I have an approval of the minutes? Or is there anything, Diane, you wanted to say something about?
yeah, I had a question on that. On the, find it. Hmm. The Tuesdays in the park where it says, let me find it.
It has been confirmed, and per Tabitha, we got the requested dates and activities.
Yeah, so what were the dates? I guess is what it said that,
22nd of June, 20th of July, and August 24th. Is that right, everyone?
I believe so. I have to get it.
Okay. But we got everything we asked for. Good job, Kathy.
Yeah.
could you repeat those dates for me, Julia?
June 22nd, July 20th, and August 24th.
Thank you.
And then it doesn't, I don't think anything of the times. I think wasn't those, well, that's Kathy.
Isn't it 5:30 to 7?
Okay.
7:30, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
I guess I just wondered because it said that, the reported 3 dates can be chosen, and I thought we chose the dates. So I just wanted clarification on that. So I'm good, thank you.
Okie dokie.
I
Yep.
do have a change under working business A. The last Veterans Memorial Subcommittee, it says they will also recognize the police with a flag. That's the last line. And that was actually that we recognized the Space Force with a flag.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
I was explaining how we got that flag up there and
right.
everything else and moved everything around.
Yeah, it was the space.
I'm guessing most
Space-
people, it doesn't register. Space Force doesn't register when you hear it even because it's so new. But yep, they are a co-equal branch. So,
Well, that's nice.
and
I
it looks
mean,
great. The flag is sharp, actually. It really is.
well, the whole thing is sharp. The whole memorial is really a nice, it's nice. It's awesome. But okay, so now that we have the corrections, any more corrections? Can we have an acceptance of the minutes, please, and thank you?
I make the motion with the correction.
Oh,
I'll second.
Okay, and could we have a roll call, please, and thank you? Did somebody first it?
Mark,
Okay,
Jeremini,
Yes.
Long Break,
yes.
Breakovich,
Yes.
Miller,
yes,
Carrico,
Yes.
Ingram.
Yes.
okay, you guys are awesome. We'll move on to, if there's no other questions, to 6, the communications to the board. We'll have 2 people call to the public, possibly Mr. Michael Hurst in regards to water board. And then the other one prior to that is David McHugh. I emailed all you guys what he wants, his list of demands.
Here.
So we really can't. We
He's
can't really.
on, he's on, Julia.
Okay,
So we
so
can- if we want to open it up to him.
David, welcome to Parks and Rec, May 21st or May 17th, Parks and Rec meeting. Go ahead.
You're muted,
Oh,
David.
you're on mute. Yeah. No.
Why am I on mute?
No,
No,
Dave's
David's
on mute.
Dave's on mute.
Okay.
I'll unmute you, David.
Oh, okay, I didn't know I could.
Okay, I've been unmuted. Yay!
Sorry about that. I didn't know I could unmute you.
Okay, you got my little list. Just a little background. I'm a 20-year veteran of Wolverine Lake. And a couple of years ago, I got inspired to start a pickleball club. And last year, because of the pandemic, it kind of collapsed. So what I wanted to do is, and I put out to the next door Wolverine Lake and the Wolverine Lake Facebook page for a start this Saturday at 10 o'clock. And so I have several that have responded, and I have at least 2 that are coming that have never played before. So this is kind of an important thing, my item number 1, which is setting up a teaching area, which would be a full pickleball court on the south end of the courts area. And so then what I'd like to do is to be able to, when we have a time like this, which is 10 o'clock, the better players can be on one court and like the beginners on a third court and on the second court. And then like the teaching court would be just so people aren't afraid to come and that they want to participate. So that's my first question, is if we could do that. The second thing would be to try to get access to any and all of the advertising ability of the villages, like the sign at Glengarry and South Commerce Road, that we can put, pickleball is here at this, and with other meetings and all the different things. And so that's sort of my request. Right now, there's been some response to what I've already put out, but I really think that there's some untapped potential here. And I also would like to talk to the crew here about striping the roller hockey rink at Clara Miller Park for 4 pickleball courts, because there are times when there's 4 courts would be just 16 people. That's not a lot of people. So this is something that would be something to think about into the future. And
Okay.
currently, I'm in Florida right now, and I've set up we have a home in the Villages in Central Florida, and I've set up a group here called Dave's Dynamic Thinkers. And we have 286 people on our email stream. So we play pickleball every day and twice on Tuesdays.
What are your hours? How
Right
much time
now,
do you take up on the pickleball court with your group?
with my group in Florida, we play typically at 10 o'clock in the morning.
And you
Oh,
go
we're
through
tired
till
here.
dusk. And you go through till dusk.
And we go, what?
You go through till dusk, or when the park closes. I'm trying to get a guesstimate here with people, time spans and that kind of stuff. How much time do you spend a day with all these people?
Okay, a typical pickleball window is 2 hours. So my goal would be, like, if it works out that you were a bunch of seniors who would be interested in playing, it would probably be at 10 o'clock in the morning, like 10 till noon. But then there's a lot of people that work, and what we did before, we started at 6:30, went from 6:30 to 8:30.
And what happened between 12 and 6? You
Nothing.
didn't use the courts.
Nothing. Well, anybody else can use the courts.
Okay, the reason I'm asking is who we have to share. I mean, I know pickleball.
In fact, more importantly, if there's people that want to play, we would like them to plug into this group and get it bigger and bigger. Because the more people, the better of the more play you get, the more challenging players. It's just a good thing.
Okay, well, right now, the one pickleball court we do have is also a tennis court, and it is a residential area. But it's not, I don't want to say, well, I'm going to just be blatantly honest. You can't stripe the courts because they were set up for tennis. If the tape gets sticky and someone trips, it's a liability. So there's no taping the courts. The basketball and rollerblade courts, I talked with the chief and the administrator. You cannot just go in there and do that because they were designated for rollerblade and basketball, and they are being used a lot. So if there's something to be done in the future, it has to be something because there is no reservation time whatsoever right now. It's just first come, first serve. And so what I'm trying to say is I enjoy the sport of pickleball. I enjoyed playing it, but we can't monopolize every bit of the village with pickleball because there are other people that might want to do the time. And if it becomes where pickleball's not allowing people of the village to access what their taxes pay for, there could be a problem. So the reserving of times, we're just kind of tossing this out to throw it to council because we can't really make any decisions. I just have to tell you what the rules are right now.
Yeah, we're talking about a 2-hour window.
But
So if it's during the day, it'd be 10 till noon.
But then you wouldn't go 12 to 2 and then 2 to 4. You don't envision yourself doing that is what I'm asking. Do you envision
No, I
yourself
don't.
taking more court time?
I don't see that.
So then why the need for I don't mean to, yes, I do. Why the need to do the basketball and the rollerblade court if you do not expect that much of an inflow of people?
Well, if we striped the rollerblade court, that would be 4 courts. And with 4 people on a court, that would be 16 people. It's not a lot of people for the population of Wolverine Lake.
Well, there's parking over there, which there is not at the residential site. I'm just asking for the hours because we do have people that do play basketball and roller hockey, and they do go over and play tennis. And one cannot monopolize over everybody else. So that's why I was asking you in regards to your groups, how much time do you put into the courts? And if you don't have the afternoon free, because 6 o'clock is a prime time when people work. So in the evenings, if that was every evening, 5 days a week, I'm not saying something can't work out, but I'm just trying to be the go-between. And then, so what we would do is if you have any suggestions or ideas, we can pose them to council for future use, because as of now, there is no reserving. If there was to be a reserving, then it would have to be something brought through council to make something, to make it official. Is that right, Mark?
To make it enforceable, yeah.
To make it enforceable.
We have no reservation system other than for the baseball fields. And that's pretty much all we've got in the village.
Yeah, because I know when you go to Drakeshire or whatever it is, or these other places, you have to reserve time. You cannot do that here in the village unless something is made into a motion to put it to council to see how they feel about the motion. So I don't know if that answers any of your questions or what you want to see happen that we could pose to council, because they are the ultimate authority in yayin and nayin.
Okay.
Well, I have some questions. for David is, so how many courts, you just play with one court right now or
Where,
last year?
you mean, oh, well, we didn't play last year at all in Wolverine Lake.
Oh, did you play the year before that? Who
Yeah.
was playing then?
We had a group, I had developed a group of about 20 people that knew that, okay, we could show up at 6:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and if they were working, and then we were trying to find a group of seniors that could also, come during the day. But, a group of 20 is not a big amount of people because people have other things going on in their life. So you need to have a fairly large group of interested people to participate when we want to participate.
So you were participating a couple years ago then, and am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, and you used one court, one pickleball court?
No, we used them both at the same time, but the time
Okay.
was, let's say at 6:30 at night, and everybody that knew we were, okay, it's like, that would be our gathering time. Come at 6:30 and we can get some games going.
Okay,
try to
so you
separate-
used both courts at 6:30 for a couple hours,
Yes.
right? Okay, all right. So Julia, remember we talked about possibly setting up a pickleball court over behind the roller rink and use part of the basketball area?
That's not been set up for that. That has to go through council to be approved to make that into something other than what it was designated for.
Right, so that was a thought. The other thought I had is, okay, so you're playing at a tennis court and that's already designated tennis and not pickleball. But you were able to
it's already
play
equipped
pickleball
for
on
the-
that court, correct, David?
Yeah, it's striped for 2
Right.
games. It's
Okay.
striped for basketball, for tennis and pickleball.
Okay, and so did you experience any conflicts with people who wanted to play tennis during the times you were playing pickleball?
At one night, there was one pair of people that were playing tennis, and our crew showed up, and we were a big crew at that moment. And they just said, "Oh, you guys are playing, okay." And then we said, "Did you want to learn the game?" And actually, one of them said, "Yeah." And we had extra equipment, and so we taught them the game. Because it's a game that if you know how to play tennis, you can play pickleball.
Yeah, it is a fun
So-
game.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if it can actually conflicts with the tennis players. And so you're envisioning that you would need 2 courts,
I'm
correct?
envisioning that eventually I'd like to have as many as we could. That's why I was interested in the 4
Uh-huh,
over at the
got it,
other location. But,
got it.
we're taking baby steps here.
Yeah. Okay,
I
thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that because we do have to take baby steps because unfortunately our village is still the way it was 50 years ago when my husband and I moved in here. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I can see the need. But that is, again, anything has to go through council. We make recommendations, it goes through council. Council then is the final deciding factor as to whether we want to put funding into making the rollerblade and the basketball court into pickleball courts, or that would be a council decision. I mean, we can make recommendations. That's all I can say. We can pose it out there, whatever, we'll discuss it and post things, but I can't promise an outcome. It'll either be yay or nay. And then also in addition to the sign, the electrical signs, that is for our village stuff only, because if we started using that as a want ad type thing, it would never have any of our village stuff on. If it said pickleball today, basketball today, rollerblade today, there wouldn't be a lot of time where people would be looking like, well, where did the memorial thing go? Or so that sign cannot be used for personal fun time. That's what I was told. So So anyways, if changes are to be made, we just have to talk about it and make suggestions to council and then let them be the deciding factor as to where we go with this. But you can always still have the 2 residential at, in the residence.
Clarification, Dave, and if we were to ever in the future stripe the somewhere on the blacktop, if I recall, you said you had portable nets as opposed to us installing something that would be permanent, correct?
Yeah, I have a temporary net.
Okay.
Because that would at least, I mean, alleviate the issue of, we're not converting it just to pickleball. We're again trying to make it multi-use, some of these areas in our courts, in our spaces. So
David, how large are the courts? Are they a full tennis court size?
Oh, no, it's a fraction of a tennis court.
So what is the rule is for that size?
You know, I thought about that. I might have to pull up this dimension, but I don't have it right now, but
Okay,
it's basically like 20 foot by 40 foot, but I don't have the numbers at my fingertips here.
all right, I'll look it up.
20 by 44.
20 by 44?
20 by 44. Okay, well, thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. It's the one advantage of having these meetings via Zoom, is you can check these kinds of things up real quick.
Well, are there any other questions? I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's just we have to go through proper channels to get things changed. So,
Well, personally, I think it's a good idea, and it is gaining more in popularity. And personally, I think it's a good idea to kind of set some court room for you someplace, but yeah, I don't know where that place would be.
well, if the thing of it is the cost of it's going to cost a couple thousand. Am I not wrong, Dave? But it'd be about 2,000-3,000 it's going to cost monies. I don't know if council's going to be willing to spend the money to do the
taping.
Paint,
taping.
yeah,
Two
the
years
painting.
ago, I got one price from a company that does this professionally for around $2,000, something in that neighborhood. And to stripe the 4 courts over at where the kids play rollerblade.
Okay, see, that's a cost that we have to put through to council because they have to vote that into the budget.
Yeah.
We can't just do it.
Did you say that 2,000 included striping or not?
Yes.
And of course, that was a couple years ago, so we know what the cost of materials are today, are like.
You never know. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But the right way to do that, if it was over there, would be to have, strike the court, have a storage locker adjacent there with with a padlock on it, like a combination padlock, that you could put the nets, because the nets break down into like maybe 2.5 feet long bag, and the nets could be stored there, and you could have some balls there, and people could donate some extra paddles, and so that it would be if somebody wanted to go and play, all they would need is a combination to go in, set up
I think it makes sense, but it's also one of those, is it something we can do in terms of private property, personal and public property spaces, kind of things like that? Because obviously then the pickleball club would have the combination to use it, but then others would not, and things like that. We would run into that kind of a potential issue. And I think these are some of those things that we really need to flesh out with the administrator in terms of what's legal and capable of being done, so that when we do make a recommendation, if we do make a recommendation to council, it is something that can actually be voted on at that time, rather than being sent back or being further reviewed. Because I think there's a lot of questions.
I wanted to put this out as a point of like, get the idea out there and then let people, put a little bit of meat around that idea and see if it would work or not.
No, because in general, the club works. I mean, I mean, it didn't take long for you to get a group, going 2 years ago. And so there is clearly interest in the community, and it's just a matter of scale, I think, and what bounds we have. So, but we can continue, I think that, like I said, I think if we go through all the things that you're concerned with and seeing what is absolutely not possible, period, versus what is it just a matter of documentation and resolutions and ordinances and those kinds of things. And once we separate those things and figure them out, we can better attack it and better manage and figuring out what will work for everybody.
Yeah, because I think once the word gets out and people start talking about it, it will pick up some steam here. So.
And it may end up being a thing where, it might be a thing where they want to see more proof, like you having the crowd before
Yes.
they would go for it, kind of thing, which is a terrible, is a difficult situation to be in, where you're not going to have that crowd very long if they're all standing around waiting to use the 2 courts, kind of thing. And you'll lose interest then too. So it's one of those kinds of things. But
Especially more importantly, Mark, that's why I'm looking for that teaching pickleball court, because right now, like coming up on this coming Saturday, I mean, if 15, 20 people show up and several people don't know how to play, would it be fair for me to take a court and use it for the half hour or 45 minutes to teach 2 or 3 people how to play the game, or let people play it? I mean, we're faced with that issue. Okay.
Well, if you want your group to grow, you take those who want to learn, because they will become a part of your group and make it bigger to make your dream come true. You throw out
Exactly.
a couple people and you're going to kind of be in but the only thing that needs to be really discussed is you're wanting a locker, you're wanting to stripe the courts, and those 2 issues are financial things that have to be discussed through council for budget. So, and like Mark said, we can work through and see at what liability is. And then from there, then we'll attack all the real issues. But as far as painting them now or taping them or cabinets or, taking over the courts over there, then it's just not happening now. And again, the sign can't be used for everybody's personal agenda. But that's just what I was told when I talked with the police chief, I talked with the administrator, and I also talked with the lady that does the reserving of the courts and stuff, Paige. So it's not just my opinion. Okay, I kind of put it out there to see what else we could before this. But I appreciate you coming and talking to us about it. And now that we have some of your ideas, what you want done as a group, we can maybe talk about it and see where we could go with the legal aspect, and then post something to council that could possibly be voted on.
Okay, cool.
Is that okay? I know you didn't get all the answers you wanted to hear.
Well, I'm hoping that we can get this teaching pickleball area approved right away, because we're going to need it right away. I mean, that's real clear. Okay.
So we don't
So-
meet, council doesn't meet again until June. So council doesn't even meet again until June, and nothing can be done until June, until their meeting. And we have to have something, we still have to talk to the administrator and find out how feasible this is and what our limits are. And then at that point, then we can possibly send something to council. It may not even get to the June, and we're going to try, but I can't promise anything. So you're going to be waiting at least a month. So you'll have to kind of punt and do the best you can, I guess is what I'm saying. And I'm sorry that I can't give you your wish.
Well, as you said, the taping sounds like it's a no-go period, because it's an issue of insurance and liabilities rather than
someone-
being and so that would be a matter of we'd either have to paint the court, or it can't happen.
No, because if someone got the bottom of their shoe sticky and tripped, there's liability to the village.
I have a question. Like in baseball, how they put down that chalk for, the line bases.
Mhm.
For, can you use something temporary like that if you wanted to make a court using the chalk? Because then there wouldn't be any tripping.
No, there's no doing of anything to the courts at this point, even with the chalk. It's just, chalk gets slippery too. And if it rains, it gets puddled, if it doesn't get washed off, and then the DPW is gonna have to come down and wash off chalk.
Yeah,
There's-
I just know they use it for baseball diamonds, so.
Yeah,
soccer
no, and it's
fields
a
and
suggestion.
Football and.
The
Yeah, I
duct
don't
tape
need
would
to
work.
stay there.
The duct tape would work on the court. So it's not a question of whether it would work or not, but I mean, if people think that people will slip on it or whatever, whatever, but it'll work.
I know, sir, it will, but we have to also think of liability, and that's what the village is looking towards. We don't want anybody to have to come and sue us because, seriously, I mean, I want to grant you your wishes, but I don't have that power, and none of us do. We can only discuss it and check out what the village administrator and the attorney say, and then from there, post something to council that council can actually vote on without throwing it back to us, and now we're looking at July. So, okay, we're gonna try and get this addressed. I promise you. I will keep in touch with you. I have your number, and I'll keep you appraised as to what's going on. If there's another meeting, I will get you in there so that you can, okay? We're not putting you, we're not kicking you out the door. We're leaving it open. It's just, right now, it's no, no tape.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'm sorry. I
Thank
wish I could.
you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much for being so patient. Okay, and now do we have, Mr. Hurst, are you still on the line for water board?
We don't have anyone besides the board in the meeting and no
Okay.
callers.
Okay, so then Mr. Hurst must, alrighty, so, well, I appreciate that. There's no other public. Any new business? I mean, I sent you guys that email and as to what I was told, so,
I think it would make sense, Julie, for like you and me perhaps to
yes,
sit down with the administrator, and
right,
go through these lists and figure out what is just a period no, what is a, well, if you did this and this, then it could happen
I
potentially.
agree.
And
Okay,
then
Mark, thank you.
what is a purely, in that way, we can really give some clear answers and things like that as well.
Yeah, this was just kind of spur of the moment thing, so this is kind of where it got to, but thank you, Mark, I'd appreciate that very much.
Madam Chair, pardon the interruption. We do
No,
have a caller now.
Okay,
Do you want to open up the call to the public again, or do you want to
yes,
move
sir.
on?
Do we have to vote on that, Mark? Can I just do it?
We never really closed it, so.
Okay, we didn't close it, so yes, sir, please and thank you.
Okay, we have 7870. If you would like to make a comment, press *9 on your keypad to raise your hand. Okay, hand is raised. Press *6 on your keypad to unmute, and then say your name and address for the record. Then go ahead with your comment.
This is Michael Hurst, 2567 Tampa Drive. Sorry I'm late,
It's okay.
but I wanted to talk to you guys about admin's committee decision to not allow or not put on a liaison to Parks and Rec to my board. So that's
Okay.
what I wanted to talk about.
Go ahead.
So
Hans.
it was decided that we have, according to the charter and the rules of the bylaws of the village, that they do not want to add a liaison. So I think that what I would like to recommend is that we set up a joint subcommittee with, participants from both of our, committees, myself and somebody else from the water board and two folks from Parks and Rec, and then we can set up that subcommittee specifically for certain opportunities, if you will. Okay.
Okay,
So that's my recommendation, how to get around that. the second thing is, I talked to Lori today, and if she wants to go ahead and submit an application to the water board as a, member of the village and not liaison, then that can be considered as well, because we still may want to add a ninth person, because we're 8 and 8 now. So Mark, I don't know if you have anything to say about any of this, but that's the gist that I got.
Yeah, so the main thing was in the ordinances, how it's listed in the village charter and ordinances is that it explicitly states there's a council liaison and a planning liaison to the committees and things like that. So it would be a matter of having to rewrite the ordinance. So the only discussion I heard at the last council meeting was the suggestion of just having Lori apply as a citizen to water, and that would take care of that. Assuming the subcommittee's okay to do, assuming the village is okay with it, I don't see why it would be a problem off the top of my head, because if you're only 2 and 2, you can't pass anything or deliberate.
Well, I talked to David about it, and any subcommittee can have members of the general public on it, so they don't even have to be on the committees. But he did say that anything coming out of the subcommittees would have to come through water board or Parks and Rec, that the subcommittee can't go direct to council. And I understand that too. So I guess what I'd like for you guys to think about is that we put the subcommittee together, and I know that I think you guys have on part of your agenda this year to work on beautification of the road endings, right? Did I understand that correctly? You guys are going to work on the road endings?
I
Not
have
so much from the road
heard
endings.
any,
I'm not aware of that.
no.
Oh, I thought I read that when somebody was put together a whole bunch of notes on, here, I got it right here. So, okay. This is just about signage. All right. Sorry, Julie. I thought
Oh,
you
that's
were.
okay, honey. I was like,
I
oh.
thought you were going down the path of beautification, somewhere in here. But anyway, so that being said, I would like to throw in on offering the water board support for your fishing contest when it comes up, and maybe that we can make that as one of the first subcommittee things.
August 14th will be the fishing tournament.
Okay. Do you guys need help?
We have our new member is chairing it this year. He's not in the meeting today, but I'm certain he wouldn't mind having, he'll probably have some questions for sure about various things, and then about just the lake and probably fishing in general, maybe. But he may also, when we are looking for boats to help with weigh-ins and things like that, to place the pontoons at the ends of the lake, and in general, that could be things that he might be looking for help. And then, of course, we'll want to make sure that there's no treatments around that, and like within the week before that, so that nobody has any issues with that. But I think that's the best place, a perfect place to start for sure.
Okay, so I'll when I get to our meeting beginning of next month, I will ask if anybody besides me would like to participate with you guys in the fishing contest, and to support it. And if obviously I'll be working. I don't know the guy's name. I can't remember it, but we'd be working for him anyway. So it's his show. So we're just there to help, right?
Help is always appreciated. Thank you. And then
Okay, so go ahead.
I'm sorry, forgive me. How did you want to do this subcommittee? I know Lori is going to fill out an application. So
Good.
do you want that to happen more so than the subcommittee? Or do you still
Well,
want?
I would like to do both. I mean,
Okay.
I think that we need to go ahead and do this. Lori de facto can be our liaison, whether she likes it or not, because she's on both boards. But I mean, So that's kind of a natural fit. But I think that we can do this on, in my mind, I'm thinking we can do this on specific projects as they come up, right? So if there's things that we can work on together, and, I've always wanted to help with the fishing contest, that's, I think, a natural. And so as we go through the year, maybe other things will come up. And just so you guys know, one of the things we want to get to someday is to have more access and activity around the road endings. But not sure how we're going to get there yet. But we want to enhance that the general public's access to the lake. So that's part of what we want to do. That's just one thing, but that's a thing that I thought might be the crossover as well. But I'm sure there's going to be others. So sorry to interrupt. Sorry I'm late. To be honest with you, I was out on the lake looking at algae and got distracted.
The number of times we've heard that.
I'm just
Well-
thankful that you came, and thank you very much for, feel free to come into any of the meetings. And then can any of us zoom into your meetings, or?
Absolutely. You can zoom in as a member of the public, or if you want to be on the agenda, just let me know. Okay.
Okie dokie.
All right. So thank you for your time, Lori. Thank you very much for stepping up and get that application in before the next meeting if you can, please.
Yes.
Great. Appreciate it. And again, Laura, I know you're volunteering and you're on 2 boards. So if it's too much, please, let me know. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
Anybody have anything else anybody have anything else for me? Okay. Go back to your Parks and Rec stuff. Thanks. Talk to you
Thank
later.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that's shall we close? We don't have anybody else in Joe Public? Okay, so we'll call to the public at a close. We don't need to do anything with that, right, Mark? Because it's not yes, we do, you said.
Yeah, that's close. You can, I don't know.
Okay, we'll close to the public and go into new business. How about, well, we just got over that. Anybody have anything, or we can go into Tuesdays in the park?
Where's the agenda? Oh.
Okay. I guess I'd like some ideas. I mean, we talked at the meeting about, obviously it's been approved, which is wonderful. And because it is between 5:30 and 7:30, whatever we can do to maybe, I like the idea of the pass of food trucks. I don't know a lot about them. If someone knows where you start other than Kaya, and then, because I was at People Pleasure or something, someone you knew, Julia, that they no longer are doing it.
Yes. No, Palaplease, they were an older couple and they had to fold because of the COVID and their truck went bad.
Okay. Do they have, if we do find food trucks, do they have to go get permits or anything in order to? I don't know. Pardon me, Mark?
Well, yeah, usually they're going to be licensed and insured, but there is an application they need to fill out at the village hall in order to do it. We do have some kind of, I can't remember the specific name of it off the top of my head, but there is a form, an application they can fill out, and that way they're registered with the village.
And then the other thing, it sounds like in the past that you may have done popcorn or snow cone. I've never been to a Tuesday in the Park, so I don't know.
Yeah, we did snow cones in 2019.
We did popsicles.
And we did popsicles last year, and popsicles are always easier. And
I mean, I know we did that for the inflatable that one day. That
we did popsicles before we had the snow cone machine.
okay.
For the daytime event, we usually did like a fruit snack or something like that before we had the snow cone machine, because it was easy and just kind of a midday snack kind of thing. And then, yeah, we've done that. We've had yard games out for it as well, that we have in the basement.
And water.
It wouldn't be in the building up at the park, so it'll be easier.
Sorry, pardon me, what, Lori?
We've had bottled water.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now, is this something that we have to go out and purchase and supply? Is that how it works? And then it comes out of our budget?
Yes, we would go out, and if we don't have any left, like we always use whatever we've had from previous events usually. So like usually we'd use the water from the corn roast before it expired, And we'd use leftover candy from previous events and put it out and all that kind of stuff. So we'd just be recycling onto these kids all of our stuff before it went bad. Obviously, most of that stuff has now expired because it's been over a year. Same thing with like the syrups for the snow cone machine. We'll have to get fresh bottles and stuff for that. And then, yeah, we would, whatever you buy, you then submit to the village and they'll reimburse you from that, but because we do have, I think, $400 in that account.
I
So-
mean, would you guys, I mean, we can have like the snacks, like the popcorn and, you know, the popsicles, but I was just wondering, I mean, I'll look into some food trucks if that's feasible. I mean, it is the dinner hour. You know, a lot of working people with children, if they come, maybe it'd make their life a little easier if they wanted to get something. I'm open to suggestions, you guys.
Oh, yeah,
It's
no,
good
we
to-
can, I don't know any off the top of my head, but there are quite a few food trucks and quite a few people in the village that have been using, like subdivisions and homeowners associations that have had them. So I know there's a few options out there that we could possibly go to. We could always talk to Kaya, but I don't know what, I know they have.
Well, they may be expensive for what. that they've
Yeah,
had.
and we've used them before. And that was kind of the one thing. But we could look and see if there's some that are a little more kid-friendly, kid-targeted too. Food truck
right.
wise, rather
I'll
than something
look into some,
exotic.
because obviously our next meeting will be just before that. And if I find something, I don't know what kind of approval I need, but it would probably help if Paige or Tabitha put it on the flyer to let parents know, or the village
Yeah, we can,
residents to know that something's going to be available other than just our activities.
Right.
I would suggest that we release budgeted funds for the Tuesdays in the park, so that if we
Yes.
need to buy popsicles and snacks or waters.
And
things like
socks.
that, and socks. Oh, good call. Yeah, we do need to, I don't know how many, I know we're very, very low on socks for anybody over 4. You know, any kid with an actual, like beyond the tiniest foot, we are very low on socks, or I don't think we have any more. So those kinds of incidentals.
Kathy,
I
do
know
we
a couple
know,
people who own food trucks, so I'll reach out to them and see if they have any interest in coming to the village. So I'll let you know
Oh,
what I find
thank
out. for that, too.
you. You have great
One
connections.
is,
dear.
one is a pizza, and I don't know what the other one is, but I'll see what I can find out.
Oh, okay. And again, I'm open for suggestions. I have no idea what kind of money to get approval to potentially, you know, to release the funds, what I should ask for. Any suggestions? I mean, I don't know. I've never bought, you guys have done this, the Santa and Easter, but I
see.
have no much money you guys
Well, this
spend.
would be just for this Tuesday in the park, because it's the only one in, it's June, correct? Yeah, and then July is the new fiscal year. So I would say that we approve $100.
100?
That way, if we decide we want to get the syrups instead of the popsicles and things like that, you know, the syrups will last for a year, but then we will have them in reserve and everything else. So we can, I think that makes sense.
Okay, and then, all right, and then, not to be totally off the subject, but do you think our new area is going to be ready? The concession
Yes.
stand part?
I would think so. I mean, I think everything is done other than a couple of maybe punch list items. And then Andy needed some time to get the water going because he has to test it and everything else. And so it should be done by the end of this month, if it's not
Okay.
even or sooner. We're just
Well,
being
then
we're a little cautious on that part.
So then do I just ask Lori to release $100 or we go to the council, ask them to release 100? Pardon
Make a
me?
motion to release $100 from the budgeted Tuesdays in the park. Pardon me, getting a little tongue tied. Release budgeted funds of up to $100 from the Tuesdays in the park budget
June.
for the purchase of assorted items for the event. So
Okay.
socks, popsicles, syrups, snacks.
Water.
Yeah,
Make
Sock,
sure we have it all listed.
yeah.
I second it.
Thank you.
So yeah, just a roll call.
Oh, okay.
Because it is regardless, you have to do a roll call when it's money, always.
You have to ask for it, Julie.
Oh, well, Mark already, I'm sorry. Okay, may we please have a roll call?
Jeremini,
Yes.
Kiriko,
Yes.
Long Break,
Yes.
Breakovich,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Ingram.
Yes.
Okay, Tuesdays in the Park. Thank you, Kathy. An awesome job.
Thank you.
I have a quick question though. Sorry. Is there like targeted age groups for it? Like, is there a minimum age to use like the bounce house and different things?
There are, depending upon what we're having. And for the June one, we're having the theme's Jungle Safari. The specialty is a tie-dye, and the mobile recreation is Hut Hut. And I have to look that up, Molly.
I wonder if we're gonna have them update with some food truck items, you know, on the next flyer that goes out. It might be helpful to just say targeted age group, or if there is a minimum age, because I think, you know, my 3-year-old would be interested in some things, but if there's a minimum age, I don't want her to get all excited and bring her and then she can't do it.
Yeah, we tried to, geez, if I can look real quick.
Usually in most years, other than last year, usually you'll see 3 to 10 or so, and they'll
Okay.
find something to entertain themselves. Especially if we decide to do, like, if we decide to put out the yard games, that always helps, and things like that too.
Okay.
And then some of the times they'll just take them over to the playground. If
I mean, it
if
says
they
like
get bored
putt
with
putt
us.
on the original flyer I got, Molly said it was suitable for all ages. So I'm sure that you can help your daughter hold it, because it's supposed to be one family per hole. So in that regard, but that's a good
Okay.
suggestion though. I like that idea. So thank you.
I like that these events have these 3 different parts to it, because it does broaden the potential for multiple ages.
Mhm.
Okay, well, thank you, and very good job, Kath. So we'll go to the summer fall garage sale, August 5th through 7th. We really do not need a chair. Again, there's a chair with a question. It just is an automatic thing that they do themselves with the map at the village. Isn't that true, Mark?
Yeah, but if we want to put somebody on there, I can chair it, because it's the garage sale and it doesn't require any work. If you want to get rid of the question mark, I'm happy.
Well, it's been on the question mark every time, so that's why I'm
And
asking.
the only like it doesn't require a chair, because we don't do any kind of like, we're not going to order signs for the yards and things like that, because we realize it's not very cost effective. And so then in the normal years, you would have somebody who would be hanging the banners, but I'm not even sure if we can hang the banners on these new signs. So
No,
there's even less for us to do, other than post online, post on Nextdoor, on Facebook and so forth, so that people are aware of it, that they can sign up for it, and then to post the map once it gets released. And
Okay,
that's
so
really all there is to it.
So do we want to vote Mark in to be the chair of the garage sale, August 14th, August 5th through 7th?
I recommend that Mark be the chair.
Everybody's willing.
Thank you, guys.
Second.
Touching. We've never voted on chairs, so
No, but
I'll just take it. Yeah.
You're
Thanks,
taking
guys.
position. So shall we have a roll call, please?
Kiriko,
Yes.
Long Break,
Yes.
Breakovich,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Ingram.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mark. Thank you.
Thanks.
Stepping up to the plate.
Happy to help.
I do have a comment to make about the garage sales. I had 2 people over the last week ask me why we don't have it in the spring. They thought it was too late to have it in August. Just a random conversation with a couple people. So just putting out there.
Okay.
We used to have 2, I think, didn't we?
We did it once.
Lori, didn't we have 2?
I think they used to a long time ago have 1. So I remember that. Then the last 2 years ago, we had 2. The following year, we didn't have much interest, so then we went back to just the 1 year.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
2018 was 2018 before I joined was the 1 year where you guys did both. And I remember Phil was chairing those back then, and he said the reception wasn't particularly high for the spring one.
Really?
And he
Okay,
recommended against it. So
okay. I'm just,
that was I mean, it could have just been the year, but at the same time, do you want two or do you just want to?
no, we just want one.
Then and then
One's
this
good, one and
This one
done.
has been the traditional date because of
Yeah.
the internet, the nationwide garage sale week or something.
Yeah,
That is the first weekend of August, I guess.
okay.
All righty, thank you. And okay, so now we'll move down to C, fishing contest. Diane, and your partner isn't here, so.
So
do you have
I know nothing.
That's okay. We have a while.
Nothing.
I did
And
the
So
last,
Mike's gonna help out, so
thing,
that's cool.
flyer. So he's got
Mhm.
that, and that flyer is very informative. And so, yeah, and then I know I did actually just happen to talk to Paige about it with the permit. And I think she said she does it in June.
Okay,
We have the permit in place. So,
okay, well, hopefully we'll get lots of little fishies and, okay, then we'll move on to anybody else. We'll move on to corn roast. We've got the band, we've got the ponies. I called Dr., I think it was DeRoche or Dr. the tattoo guy, pardon me,
Shapiro,
yes.
Berkman Shapiro.
Called him, left a message on his answering machine to see if he wanted to still be a part of the Parks and Rec corn roast on September 11th. And then I didn't even think to put on there for the different, in case Kathy might want to see if he wants to do the June, July, and August for the Tuesdays in the park, but I can always do that if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay, all right, so then I can call back and leave another message. Then Mark, bless his heart, he's going to talk to, I can't think of the name of the gentleman at Penny Lake, but he's
Kyle.
going to-
Yep.
Kyle, yes, because he and Kelly have always been involved with the foods during 2019 when we had that really nice. So he knows the gentleman personally, and because council, well, later on down the road, we'll talk about that, but we'll kind of get a guesstimate of, we can't predict how much we're really going to need, but we can kind of get a guesstimate to give it to council for the release of the funds. I know we've got 10,000, but in case they want to have some type of an itemized possibility, Mark's going to get with the gentleman to see about like the salads, the brats, the pot, the charcoal, the ice, the everything.
Yep.
And then I checked with restaurants. If we put the salt, the pepper, the ketchup relish, the butter in baggies, and you could even attach a fork, and if we did that, there's no reason that isn't sanitary enough for everybody to grab a baggie for their brats and their corn. But other than that, and then I don't think we need to ask for a release of funds for that yet, except for Mark, you said Paige did we need to have, if we're going to have a raffle, we need to apply to the state for a raffle. Does Paige and Tabitha do that, or is that my doing? And do I ask?
That will be something that we'll talk to Paige about because
yeah, I have to wait till tomorrow because she has Mondays off.
yeah,
so
but we'll need to work that out because that's something that usually hasn't always been done. So yeah, we'll need to work that out and figure out all that kind of stuff. We might need to talk to Dave, the administrator, a little bit too, just to make sure we fill out the right form and all
Right.
that and cover the bases there. But yeah, I think we're still okay on that in terms of time.
okay, so I don't have to ask for a release of funds for. I don't know how much they cost.
Yeah, I have no idea, and I wouldn't be too concerned.
Okay, all right, so then we'll put that on hold till Paige tomorrow then. Anybody
So
have?
I did get a basket donation
Oh, I love you, Mark.
from Pet Supply Plus. She's gonna do a dog basket and a kitty basket.
Oh, bless your heart.
Nice.
You. Aw, okay, thank you. I appreciate, thank you very much. It means a lot. It truly does. So does anybody have any questions about it? We're just gonna go full gear because right now everybody is pretty much, I guess, no masking, and I mean, we'll still practice safety, distancing and all that kind of stuff according to any guidelines that are up. But as far as having people come in, Mark was going to figure on that, getting hold of people to see if anyone wants to come in to sell fudge or,
Oh, yeah, vendors, yeah. No,
Vendors.
and the farmer's market opens on Wednesday, I believe, so
oh, they're
I'll
still
go
gonna
in.
have it?
Yep.
Oh,
It looks like it. That's what I saw or heard. I'll find
Okay.
out. I'll either show up to an empty space or there'll be people there.
yeah, they really ransacked that place. Okay, so then we're all set. We're gonna go full blown corn roast this year and
Fingers crossed.
fingers crossed.
So
Did
do
we-
you just schedule another meeting for that or wait till July? I mean, I don't know if we have anything we have to discuss.
There's really nothing because Mark's gonna get a hold of the vendors and he can't do that. I can't get a hold about to pay tomorrow about the I sure
The
can.
license.
If
for
something
the
comes up, if we see that, if all of a sudden we feel like we need to do something,
We can do it fast, yeah.
we can schedule a meeting and
Because come June, everything will be pretty much, we'll know what we're doing as to, approach council to have funds released. So, well, then we're gonna go ahead, Lord willing, and we'll have a good corn roast. So thank you again, Diane.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
And
now,
Mark,
Yes,
did
ma'am?
you say, like for Suburban, for the tables or whatever, we don't have to actually put a rental or anything in till like August?
I would say, I don't know the exact date, but I would not be concerned with it for the month of June, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that for sure, that we
Okay.
didn't have to do it then.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, no, they're pretty, I mean, they've got a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm certain most people don't make orders till pretty late.
Okay.
well, that's one thing we don't have to compete against with Commerce. We did with our Easter Bunny lunch and our Santa, but they don't do the corn roast thing, so. Alrighty, then we move on to holiday decorating contest. Lori, anything there?
No, we could probably table that for now.
Okay, then we'll move on to F, Snacks with Santa. Diane?
Oh, yeah, I talked to Sam and the date is the 11th. So it's 12/11 and it's from 1 to 3 and location to be determined.
Okay. Wow, 12, 11, 21. That's, wow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
December 11th, and then from 1 to 3. Okay, I got all confused for a second.
Okay, well, we got a day for that. Thank you very much for doing that and bless Sam's heart and hopefully we'll have something.
Oh, and the
Has,
same thing with Letters with Santa, the same person's willing to do it, their group. So we're cool with that.
All right, thank you. And then, so new additional events. I know Mitchell had talked about doing a car, but he's not here. A car rally, separate. You could always do that with food trucks. And then I have noticed in neighborhoods, people like going down Decker Road, they just have those little signboards out. It says food trucks, our beach, this date, 5 to 7. So I don't see why we couldn't possibly have a food truck thing, like especially with Kathy's Tuesdays in the park, because I see them all over the place.
All right, we've done them before too. For
Yeah,
the Tuesdays in the
so,
Park and for the corn roast, we've had food trucks. So
So I think it's a good go. Anybody have anything new or, and then,
Well, yeah, so I'm still looking into that 5K fun run.
okay,
And I kind of been asking around about it and I'm pretty certain I would go ahead and chair that event in August.
okay,
And I'm just waiting on my vacation schedule, but I'm thinking like August 20th. I'm going to talk to the chief,
okay.
run him by my ideas and then go from there. So
Very good. Nice job. Thank you. Something new added to the village.
do we have a bubble machine?
oh,
I
we-
don't think.
Do we have a bubble? No, I didn't know if we did or not. Okay. Because I would want the bubble machine for the kids doing the 100-yard dash to when they hit the finish line, they'll have bubbles. They'll run through bubbles.
Aw, that'd be cool.
So, okay. I didn't know if we had one or not.
No, ma'am.
All right. I'll let you know more as that progresses, but I'd like to get that wrapped up on the books.
Okay.
This has
Are you
nothing,
looking to do it? You said August 20th is a Friday.
Oh, no, the 21st. I'm thinking a
Okay.
Saturday morning.
Okay, perfect.
So,
Okay.
oh, I'm sorry. I must have looked at the wrong year.
We're out of 2020, Diane. Turn the year.
Yeah, we all show up and Diane
Yes.
shows up the next year. Diane's like, I was there last year.
No, she just looked in the corner. In these calendars, they have the big calendar 21, and she just has the little corner 20.
Okay, now it's in there.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, and Molly. So then we got that new thing coming in. That's awesome. So we can go on to Veterans Memorial Subcommittee. You, Mark, or is it Kelly? I don't want to let it says Kelly.
I'll talk.
Okay.
We're just making progress on planning for the dedication ceremony. The bricks have been ordered. They are scheduled to be in time so that we can get them installed for before the event. We met with the representative from the VFW so that we could go through the process and what we're going to do and what poem was going to be read and things like that. And yeah,
Awesome.
and then the grass got hydroseeded, the field, the dirt got hydroseeded. So we should have some nice grass in time for the memorial. So that'll help with the all the camera shots and all the photos. And yeah, everything's looking good. The plants are have all come back this year, so that's nice to see. We just got a few bits of things to do, and we're being hit a little bit with some COVID delays on certain things, but that's how it is. So, yeah.
When is that date? Is that date set?
yeah,
This
13
dedication, 13th at 11 a.m.
In what month?
June.
June.
June. Okay, thank you.
Do we know have the bricks have been ordered? Do we have any idea when they will be put in?
We know when they're scheduled to be delivered June 1st. So it'll
I just
be,
had people asking.
yeah, you know, I've had emails and stuff, so they'll be in probably within the week of that
Okay.
day. So
Mark, I know they had the possibility of ordering like a memorial, an extra brick for their own that matches the same name. Will that come in the same batch?
yes,
Is that when that one will be delivered?
yep. So all the bricks, the donor bricks that go into the memorial, the souvenir bricks, and those certificates they all come at the same time.
All right, so approximately
So-
June 1st. Okay, thank you.
Great job. I know I always get a real
Nice.
happy smile on my spirit when I go by there.
Yeah, we ordered I think it was about 80 or so new bricks. So
Wow.
yeah, we're pretty happy with that.
How we doing on the fund wise? How we, it always says 80. How we doing?
Oh, we have about 25,000 in the account. I would say part of it is we're still kind of getting some pricing on certain things and going, okay, well, if we're going to do this, then we probably need a true sponsor for that single piece. But I mean, nothing's in. We don't owe anybody anything, so that's
Yeah, that's good. Okay, good. Thank you.
yep.
Alrighty, anything else? Okay, beautification. Mark, bless his heart, has made this a nice little council. I have to, before I forget, I need to ask for a recommendation for the release of funds, but Mark, through making a sweet little ditty here and pricing of plants, an amount to be asked to be released because council wanted to know what was going to be planted and about the approximate cost. They weren't just going to release funds. So Mark made a little bit of a panoramic view showing you all the plants, and then we kind of got guesstimates. So then we can make a bid for possible council release of funds again.
So oops. I'm assuming you can see the picture,
Mhm.
Yes.
the bee balm. So here's the listing of plants that we're going to be looking at as selections. Some black-eyed Susans, some blue fescue, which is a type of grass, the bonfire euphorbia, butterfly milkweed,
Is a definite.
very pretty. I was looking those up. Those are neat. Common milkweed,
That's a definite.
cone flowers,
Those are definite.
cosmos, daisies.
Look at that fly.
Yeah, I know, that's what was
You
making
got that fly.
some of these bugs and some of these pictures, yeah. This is the purple Stella d'Oros,
Those are a must.
delphiniums, gardenias, golden sundrops,
Those are
golden
nice.
rods.
That is a
which
must.
You'll see a lot of times in these kinds of plants, you'll see like the bees just go to town. Hostas, of course, which we've got in the village, but you know,
Yes.
and lavender, red twig, dogwood, which is this, and it gives a nice contrast. Showy milkweed,
Yes.
or also, as I think, is also rosy milkweed, and
Mhm,
then swamp milkweed.
mhm.
So, and then yarrow, and then finally zinnias, which have, and of course, as many of you may know, a lot of these have multiple color options on some of these plants. But yep, so those are the ones that we're kind of looking at. And then, you know, in talking of the electric signs, which is what what Jolie and I we're considering that maybe to target the butterfly gardens and the electrical signs as our kind of in the village too, but as our main kickoff for this run. So, you know, obviously getting the milkweeds and things like that into the butterfly gardens.
Yes.
And then, but for the electrical, because those are the two big ones, you know, you looking at some of the quotes and ideas we'd received, you're talking roughly 20 to 30 plants at least per, depending on the size of the plant that you buy, to be going into each of those. And then and then whatever additionally we put in for the gardens, the butterfly gardens and things like that as well, to hopefully encourage the monarch butterflies and butterflies in general, which are great for the ecosystem, to really start to emerge. So if you kind of budget it out and price it out, you're looking, depending on the size of your plant, whether you're going with a small versus a 1 gallon pot or a 2 gallon pot, you're talking between each sign, really probably at least $300. And then you're talking about, depending on how much butterfly gardens need, 100 or two potentially. So we were looking at about 1,000 to release $1,000 of budgeted funds to hopefully complete the electrical signs and the butterfly gardens and supplement the butterfly gardens.
And the possibility of the village just putting something, that village is so horrifically, it looks like it belongs in Detroit. I would really like to do just a couple flowers right there by the sign, because it's just the dirty old, but like I said, I've got hostas in the back that I transplanted from other gardens. I have daylilies and stuff back there. And then there's that little rock garden that had twigs, put something there because the building is just so awful gray, color would be good. And then there's a pot up there that Debbie always used to put a pot up there that looks so nice when you're climbing up the stairs in the corner. And I mean, to do 4 or 5 geraniums and a spike in the middle, you're talking under $15 for that one. But that's basically, we'll start with those, and we just had to give council some kind of an idea. So I need to have another motion to have a release of funds to go in with this.
Question mark, did council release the funds for the wheelbarrow, the rake?
Yes, $500.
Okay.
Yes, that was the next thing after we got the flower thing done. I was
Oh.
going to tell you guys that. And
So,
then,
no-
pardon me?
So do you want me to do the motion, or did you? Motion to council to release the funds
For $1,000
for the flowers not to exceed $1,000?
for the planters, and then, yeah, because to get it June, if I had the money now, had there not been an error, if I had the money now, there's all kinds of sales and stuff going on, but I do not know what's going to be available in June or how much of anything in quantity, because everything winds down around Memorial Weekend. Because everything gears up for Mother's Day and Memorial Weekend. So I'd like a little bit of a stipulation there that this is the possibility, providing the plants are still available, because we may have to change plants. The milkweed is not changing for the butterfly garden or whatever, but there
But
needs
some
to
of
be
the perennials may need to change. Some of the grasses may
perennials
need to
yeah,
change,
so with the motion, there needs to be
depending on
that.
availability. Yeah, so it's to raise $1,000 for plants, flowers and plants for the electrical signs and the butterfly gardens
In the village hall for a bit,
in Village Hall.
providing they're available.
Providing availability, quality, quantity and availability, pardon me, provided availability and quality.
Because if there isn't quality, I'm not going to put just crap in there.
Oh yeah, you don't want to put something in there, it's gonna die.
Exactly. So, and as it is, it would have been nice to have had it in May, because now it's had two months to establish, where now they're going to be put in June. And now you're hitting the summer months that they've got one less month to, well, it'll work, but we'll just have to, DPW will just have to make sure it gets watered twice a week. But they won't have all the planters, they will only have the village and the electrical signs. So I don't think there'll be that big of a problem. So that's the only thing in the motion. I just want that in there, that the price may vary. I may save a lot of money because there may be a lot of plants that they're trying to get rid of, and then again,
You
there
may-
may be no plants. and
You walk
nothing-
up to a clearance table or something that they've got, and hey, look, you got what you wanted. Or they, but on the other hand, if availability is low and their prices, they've stopped their sales, then prices might be a little higher. So
Exactly. So this is
just
all
an estimate, yeah.
because I could have gone to a market out by eCourse and they have their plants 3 for $12.99. I could have really made a killing. But if I do that without the permission of council, they do not have to pay me for it. And I do not want to invest, say, $500, $600 to find out that I don't get it back because I did it before it was approved. That's the quandrum. That's the conundrum I'm kind of playing with. I'm going
And then
to.
all of a sudden we look outside and there's Julia digging the plants back up and shaking. her
Heck
head.
yeah, you bet. I'll be selling them on eBay. So that's the little bit of a problem we're having, but it's not a problem. All things are workable. So if, Mark, if you want to make that good, you did that good with quantity, quality,
Lori made the motion and I guess I seconded it.
and then you added quantity and quality depending on the time
Mhm.
may not be available. And we may have to change or interchange.
Yeah, swapping, we may have to swap some
We
plants.
may have to swap out, just so council doesn't come back and say, well, that is not a Stella de Oro.
I don't know if they would all know that. I mean, not that I will necessarily know that until I did this. So,
I'm just covering my butt. It gets bigger every year. So, all righty. So do I have a second to that then?
I
I
second it.
second that.
Mark,
Okay, thank you.
Half the
And
board.
then the motion will be going to council for the release of funds. And in June, I will do my best to scrounge around.
We need to do roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Julie.
Oh, you already said it. So, okay. Could we have a roll call, please, on that?
okay, can I just clarify your motion, guys?
Ma'am, please.
Okay, motion by Long Break, seconded by Jeremini to release funds for flowers and plants for the electrical signs and butterfly gardens for Village Hall, provided on availability and quantity not to exceed $1,000.
Boy, you did good. That's awesome. Nice translation.
Did my best. Okay.
You did
Jeremini,
good.
Yes.
All the jarble I threw out there. You did awesome.
Kiriko,
Yes.
Long Break,
Yes.
Breakovich,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Ingram.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we'll go to Amelia Park. Mark?
We approved, council approved the purchase of the swing set and
Woo-hoo.
accessories.
Yay,
So
yay.
I'll be contacting to make sure we get that stuff ordered this week, hopefully, and that way, I mean, it's gonna be a while. It's 10 to 12 weeks is what I've been told by them, by a Miracle, when I was getting the quote, because again, like everything, it just takes a while, but the motion was approved and everything else, so by the in the year 2021, let's just say there should be a swing set at Amelia Park.
That's awesome.
That's the guarantee I'll give. I need to give myself 7 months of leeway.
Well,
I
by
hope it's
next
that.
spring, there'll be a media park with flowers and butterflies and swings and slides, and it'll be a nice 2022. Thank you, Mark, for your hard work for that. And Kathy, anyone else that was working on this? And then, so do we need any kind of nothing was mentioned money-wise or anything?
No, not for that, no.
Thank you for all your hard work. Everybody works so hard. Fitness equipment at Clara Miller, grants updates.
They've been issuing grants, the National Fitness Campaign, and to various places around the state. We are going to probably go ahead and wait to apply for the next, till the new year, to the next round. They're still working out what they're going to do, but it just, this year, it didn't make a lot of sense with the with the lack of clarity, of course, with the grant application for the playground and all that kind of stuff, to then go after this one as well at this immediate time. And because we kept running further and further down the road, which meant even if we did get it, there'd be less time for their support system to come into play as well. So, but they're doing another campaign. They're planning to do another campaign next year. So maybe that'll be a better time. We'll obviously know then if we have the playground grant or not, and things as well. So we'll see.
Such a busy man, so many things on your plate. Okay, the pickleball ordinance, as you guys well knew, I took both to the chief and to administrator. You got the forms showing what they said. I don't know, there's no ordinance right now for the chief. There's not a noise ordinance, but there are supposedly, I've not been over there yet to check, supposedly there are signs, new signs, smaller signs with the hours. Does anybody want to say anything until June about pickleball?
I think it's just going to be, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens as now that this week and next week, the weather's starting to warm up finally. If we actually, what happens? Because we know Dave just told us he's not going to be there till 10. But will this other group that was the group last year, that was the difficult one, or the one that was showing up so early, will they come back or not?
5:30 and 6, yes, that was the problem.
Because that's nuts. I mean, that is not a sound you want to wake up to at 5:30 in the morning.
No, you do not.
So, yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. And we can't control human behavior. We can only do what we can here and help to make the parks and the village as enjoyable place as possible to live.
Yeah, and as far as taping and stuff, those are things that they said no. So I just had to say no. I had to just say no.
No, I'm glad you went to the chief and you went to Dave and talked to them, because it wasn't your opinion, it wasn't your assumption.
No,
These are the people who are responsible for the village saying no. So,
so I didn't want you guys thinking I was just being a bad person. But anyway, so that's the end of that. Yay. Okay, and we don't have planning. Anybody from planning? No.
Kim's not here.
Mark, you're our counsel. Anything from council?
Well, we just talked about some of the stuff that council discussed. We had the young man come and speak from the Eagle Scout, Ignatius speak. He will be coming back next week to our planning meeting for the budget to discuss his ideas some more, see if he could get some fresh numbers and things like that, to see if it's a good fit or not. Obviously, we voted for it and think it'd be a great idea. And most of the council in general thought it'd be a great idea, but it's a matter of costs and his ability to actually get, raise enough funds and things like that, and making sure that the pavilion, if you were to build it, met code and is safe for the public to use and things like that, because we want to make sure of all those kinds of things. And yeah, speaking of the budget, that is, we got our budget, or our preliminary budget, last week, and we will be meeting next Wednesday to discuss it in detail at the planning meeting, the council planning meeting. And then in June, whatever we have decided will be voted on and approved to go into effect July 1st. There are 12, I think, 12 or 13 candidates for the treasurer position applications.
Oh,
So we'll see how that goes as they start filtering through them and digging down and seeing what kind of people we got looking to replace some gigantic shoes of Mike Kondak.
Yeah, he's done a
So,
phenomenal job. That won't just be
yep.
next month, will it?
Yeah, he'll be, I think it'll be at least another month or two.
Okay, before I
But
turn on
yeah,
funds for beautification, I'd like to make sure it's Mike's hand signature on there for the new
yeah,
guys.
he's been, like I said, he's always been very helpful for our board and
has.
everything else. And I know water board would say the same thing. I was watching the water board meeting. He met with them and, went through the whole list of their budget and stuff too. So
He's an awesome man.
yeah. And I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else too major for us in
Okay.
terms of that you guys would want to hear about.
All righty. And then, yes, I am going to be purchasing a wheelbarrow, 2 shovels, a straight shovel and a spoon and a kind of curved shovel and a couple rakes, some hand things. I have a budget of 500. I won't go anywhere near that because I'm about as Scottish as they come. But I will get quality because I don't want it to also fall apart within a year or two. And it will be stored in the shed over there at Clara Miller. And then when we get the key situation all straightened out, then, but they did give me permission to buy some supplies and I shall do that with you guys, if that's okay. And then,
You got the right, we voted for it, so.
well, thank you very much, because it'll be much easier. There was a lot of times I was taking big buckets and hauling crap over to the planters because Jeff had his wheelbarrow and I didn't have it. I wasn't able to use it. So
Yeah.
that's when I
You're
thought,
doing a lot of hard work for the village to improve the curb appeal and everything. So you need to have the proper tools to do that.
well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. I won't have to take Jeff's big buckets and haul. Mulch is not as heavy as dirt in those things, but. So do we have any comments? We don't have anybody in public.
Oh, I just want to mention about it says Commerce Parks and Recreation.
Yes.
Well, that spot is opening up because Linda Champagne is resigning because she and John will be moving out of the village. And so the supervisor, Larry Gray from Commerce Township, asked for a list of potential candidates. And if you guys got the email from the village, they are taking applications for it to be the liaison to Commerce Township's Parks and Recreation Board. And they meet next Monday. So the village will be providing them a list so that Commerce's leadership can make a selection, assuming we can generate a list of people that want to do it. So.
All righty. Well, thank you. Any comments from board members?
It's good to see you all and have a great Memorial Day. And Kathy, if you need any help organizing or getting the stuff ready, the water, going to the village, getting the water socks or whatever, just let us know.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep, that goes for me too. Any help you need whatsoever. My little car can load up a lot when that back seat folds down.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody and all your advice. And thanks, Diane, for looking into the food trucks.
Yeah, I'll let you
I'll
know
do some
tomorrow when I
Googling
find
too.
out. Yeah.
I'll Google some and contact them.
Well, I appreciate each and every one of you and your time spent coming to this meeting, listening to everybody. Thank you for your support. Couldn't do this without you. Our next meeting is June 21st, 2020. We're getting into nice weather. I know I keep asking this, but according to Paige, council is going to be doing Zoom through December. So
Bye.
yeah, I don't know, but I probably because they don't want to, never mind, I'm not going to say anything because I love Mark too much. They don't want all the turmoil from people coming down there going, I don't think so, buddy. So it's Zoom, they can't. But anyway, that's, oh my God, that was out there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to start ranting and complaining and taking shots at council, maybe you should adjourn the meeting first and then.
I was just gonna say, whatever. Oops, Oh,
Off
yeah.
the record.
Off the record there. Thank you, Diane. Okay. So our next meeting is June 21st. I would like to have it at Clara Miller if it's okay. If not, because I don't know if they'll let us use the chambers. But if you guys still want to do Zoom, I know how to do it now. I'm a big girl. I can do that too. But we can also go down to the park. So prior to the meeting, we'll see where everybody's at and what the weather's going to be. And okie dokie, it's okay with everyone?
Yep.
I motion adjourn the meeting.
I second. We don't need a roll call, right, Mark?
No, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I don't think anybody's gonna say, but no. Okay, can we have roll call, please?
Erica,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Long Break,
Yes.
Breakovich,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
Jeremini.
Yes.
Thank you again, Hannah, for taking the minutes to our meeting. You did a
No
phenomenal
problem.
job.
Thanks as
Thank you.
always.
Peace
Thanks,
out.
Brian.
Keep out
Good
and
night, everybody.
have a nice
Thank you,
day.
everyone.
Talk soon.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks.